Seduction is one of the oldest arts in the world. It has toppled kingdoms, raised dynasties, and rewritten history. Yet most people misunderstand it. They believe seduction is about beauty, about words, about promises. They think it requires persuasion, flattery, or endless performance. But the most dangerous women in history knew better. The sirens of every era understood that the sharpest form of seduction does not require words at all. It is about presence, rhythm, silence, and the art of making a man lean forward without ever being pulled. This is the paradox. Men expect resistance from other men, but they do not expect resistance from women. They brace themselves for confrontation, for debate, for persuasion. But when a woman enters with stillness, with silence, with mystery, they lose their footing. They cannot argue with silence. They cannot predict mystery. They cannot escape presence. This is the Siren's playbook. Seduction without words. The essence of the Siren. The Siren does not chase. She does not explain. She does not convince. Instead, she creates an atmosphere that makes pursuit inevitable. Her secret is not what she says, but what she withholds. Men lean into silence, desperate to interpret it. They imagine meanings where none are given. They project desire where only stillness exists. This is the genius of the Siren. She lets men seduce themselves. Think of history. Cleopatra did not convince Caesar or Antony with speeches. Her power was in her entrances, her silences, her timing. Josephine did not tame Napoleon with arguments. She disarmed him with softness, with restraint, with quiet allure. The Siren has always ruled without words, because words are predictable. Silence is not. Principle 1. Presence before words. The first law of the Siren's playbook is presence. Before she speaks, she already seduces. Her walk, her gaze, her stillness, the way she occupies space, these elements command attention. Presence is magnetic because it is rare. Most women rush, fidget, apologize. The Siren glides, pauses, takes her time. She signals without sound. The world bends toward me, not the other way around. This presence unsettles men because it reverses their expectations. They are used to chasing noise. When faced with stillness, they are forced to adjust. They lean in. They follow her rhythm. She never adapts to them. They adapt to her. Principle 2. Rhythm as weapon. The Siren seduces not by matching energy, but by controlling rhythm. She slows the pace. She creates pauses in conversation, silences in meetings, delays in responses. Men, trained to chase speed and dominance, find themselves pulled into her slower current. In that current, she dictates the terms. Her rhythm becomes the frame. And once they adapt to her rhythm, they are no longer in control. This is why Sirens never rush. They are never flustered. They take time, whether walking across a room or replying to a message. The delay itself becomes intoxicating because it forces anticipation. Anticipation is the drug of seduction, and rhythm is the needle. Principle 3. The gaze. The Siren knows that eyes are more powerful than words. A steady gaze, a pause that lingers 2 seconds longer than expected, communicates more than flattery ever could. Men are unnerved by the gaze because it forces them into self-consciousness. They wonder, what does she see? What does she know? The gaze disarms, unsettles, seduces, without a single sound. Cleopatra used her eyes as weapons. Portraits and accounts describe how she could make men feel both seen and devoured with a single look. The gaze is not about aggression. It is about patience. Holding longer than expected creates intensity, and intensity is the soil in which desire grows. Principle 4. Silence over speech. Ordinary women fear silence. They rush to fill it with chatter, apologies, explanations. But the siren allows silence to breathe. She knows silence unsettles. It forces men to project, to imagine, to question. A withheld answer can be more intoxicating than any confession. A long pause can be more seductive than a compliment. Silence is powerful because it creates scarcity. Words are abundant. Everyone speaks, explains, pleads. But silence is rare, and rarity multiplies value. The siren weaponizes silence to elevate herself above the noise of ordinary women. Case study: Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe mastered seduction without words. Though often remembered as playful and breathless, her true genius was in her pauses. Watch her in interviews or films. She often says less than expected, dragging out silence, forcing the other person to lean closer, to wait. Her gaze lingers. Her movements are slow. Her laughter delayed. This rhythm makes her unforgettable. She proved that silence and stillness can be more intoxicating than endless chatter. Principle 5. Withholding as seduction. The siren never gives everything at once. She withholds details, emotions, appearances. She appears selectively, reveals fragments, vanishes without explanation. This withholding drives obsession. Men chase not because she offers too much, but because she offers too little. Desire is born not from abundance, but from scarcity. This is why the siren never floods a man with attention. She gives just enough to create hope, then withdraws. The cycle of reward and absence is addictive. Men are wired to chase what they fear losing. The siren makes sure they never feel secure, never feel certain. Certainty kills desire. Mystery fuels it. Principle 6. The illusion of intimacy. One of the siren's sharpest tools is creating the illusion of intimacy. A glance held too long, a question that feels personal, a sudden softness in an otherwise cold demeanor. These moments make a man believe he has seen her true self. But it is an illusion. She reveals fragments, never the whole. He believes he is chosen. In reality, she remains veiled. This illusion is devastatingly effective because men crave uniqueness. They want to believe they have unlocked what others cannot. The siren feeds this hunger without ever giving away her core. She lets him believe he is close, when in truth he is still far, and the distance keeps him bound. Case study: Mata Hari. Mata Hari, the infamous courtesan and spy, embodied this principle. She gave men the illusion of intimacy, whispered secrets, playful glances, brief touches, while never revealing her true intentions. Men believed they were special. In reality, she was gathering intelligence, building power, and cultivating mystery. Her seduction was silent, built not on persuasion, but on performance. She proved that intimacy need not be real to be irresistible. We have seen the foundations of the Playbook: presence, rhythm, gaze, silence, withholding, and the illusion of intimacy. These principles show why sirens never need to shout, explain, or plead. Their power lies in silence, in scarcity, in mystery. But these are only the opening moves. The deeper playbook reveals how sirens manipulate perception, dominate rivals, and control outcomes without a single word. And those strategies are even more dangerous. Principle 7. Contrast as weapon. The siren knows that sameness is death. To stand out, she uses contrast. If most women are loud, she is quiet. If they are eager, she is restrained. If they are playful, she is serious, until she suddenly isn't. Contrast magnifies impact. A rare smile feels priceless. A single soft word feels unforgettable. The siren does not flood the senses. She starves them, then offers sudden deliberate contrast that lingers. This principle is devastating because men crave novelty. When surrounded by predictability, a sudden shift feels like magic. The siren understands this. She balances warmth with detachment, softness with steel, presence with disappearance. She never allows a man to fully categorize her. And because he cannot, he obsesses. Principle 8. Emotional control. Ordinary women reveal too much emotion. Anger, jealousy, desperation. They spill everything. The siren remains composed. She may feel deeply, but she reveals selectively. This control unsettles men. They expect outbursts. When none arrive, they grow restless. They wonder, what is she thinking? What is she planning? Emotional control creates mystery, and mystery creates power. Even affection is rationed. A siren's approval, her laughter, her warmth, all are given sparingly. This scarcity makes each moment addictive. Men chase not because she is overflowing with emotion, but because she withholds until the exact moment it becomes irresistible. Principle 9. Rivals are tools, not threats. The ordinary woman fears rivals. She compares herself, competes desperately, claws for attention. The siren does the opposite. She uses rivals as mirrors to elevate herself. She allows other women to flood a man with abundance, constant presence, constant validation, and then she appears rarely, selectively, like a priceless jewel among common stones. This contrast makes her unforgettable. A rival may be prettier, younger, louder, but the siren, by rationing her presence, by withholding, by cultivating silence, becomes magnetic. Rivals burn themselves out. The siren waits calmly, knowing scarcity always defeats abundance. Principle 10. Orchestration of environment. The siren does not leave atmosphere to chance. She curates her environment as part of her playbook. Lighting, scent, music, pace, all become weapons. A candlelit room slows rhythm. A faint fragrance lingers after she leaves, haunting him. A lowered tone forces him to quiet down. She orchestrates not only her own presence, but the environment around it. This orchestration makes encounters unforgettable. Men may not notice every detail, but they feel the effect. The siren knows that seduction is not just about her body or her beauty. It is about the world she creates, and once a man enters that world, he cannot escape it. Principle 11. Aura. Overwords. Aura is the intangible energy that surrounds the siren. It cannot be explained, only felt. It is created through ritual, presence, rhythm, and silence. Aura ensures that when she enters a room, heads turn. Not because of noise, but because of atmosphere. It is built through consistency. The way she walks, the way she dresses, the way she withholds. Aura is power without sound. This is why some women are unforgettable, even if they say little. Men cannot explain it. They only feel it. Aura is not costume. It is cultivation. The siren understands that aura must be built daily, through discipline, restraint, and ritual. Once mastered, aura becomes armor. Words may fade. Aura endures. Case study: Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo, the actress who became a myth, demonstrates this principle. She spoke rarely, gave almost no interviews, and lived much of her life in seclusion. Yet her aura became legendary. People obsessed over her mystery, her silence, her refusal to be ordinary. She proved that aura could outshine beauty or words. Even in absence, she remained unforgettable. This is the siren's path, silence crafted into legend. Principle 12. Timing as seduction. The siren never rushes. She waits for the perfect moment. She delays responses, appears when least expected, withdraws when most desired. Timing makes ordinary actions extraordinary. A brief touch at the right moment becomes addictive. A pause before answering becomes unforgettable. Timing unsettles because it removes predictability, and unpredictability is the root of desire. This is why sirens often seem spontaneous, though they are not. Their timing is calculated. They know exactly when to appear, when to vanish, when to deliver softness. The ordinary woman floods with abundance. The siren orchestrates timing like a weapon. Principle 13. The mask of softness. The siren often appears soft, innocent, even fragile. This mask disarms men. They expect confrontation from rivals, but not from her. They let down their guard only to realize her softness cloaks steel. This duality makes her irresistible. He thinks he knows her, but he does not. He thinks she is harmless, until he discovers she is not. This principle echoes throughout history. Catherine de' Medici wore grace as a mask, while wielding ruthless power. Modern sirens do the same. They appear agreeable, even gentle, but beneath the mask lies iron. And men, lulled by softness, never see the blade until it cuts. Case study: Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor embodied the mask of softness. With her violet eyes and dramatic beauty, she seemed delicate, almost otherworldly. Yet beneath the surface, she wielded ruthless independence. She married 8 times, walked away when she chose, and never begged for approval. Her softness was a disguise. Her steel was real. This contrast made her unforgettable. Men could never fully define her, and that is why they never forgot her. At this stage, the siren's playbook moves beyond silence and withholding into mastery of contrast, emotional control, rivals, environment, aura, timing, and the mask of softness. These strategies prove that seduction without words is not passive. It is orchestrated, disciplined, and devastatingly effective. The final section of the playbook reveals how sirens turn silence into permanence, how they bend devotion, and how they leave legacies that endure long after the men themselves are gone. Principle 14. Obsession is built through scarcity. Ordinary women believe obsession comes from constant presence, texting, calling, pleasing. The siren knows the opposite is true. Obsession is born from scarcity. She appears rarely, withdraws suddenly, and reappears unpredictably. Each glimpse becomes addictive because it is not guaranteed. Men do not obsess over what they can always have. They obsess over what they might lose. This is why sirens never explain their absences. They let silence stretch. They let curiosity fester. The man, accustomed to women who flood him with attention, finds himself restless, questioning, chasing. Scarcity turns ordinary attraction into obsession. The siren makes herself a rare drug, and men cannot quit what they cannot secure. Principle 15. Reward, sparingly. Seduction without words requires rationing reward. A brief smile, a soft laugh, a fleeting touch. These small gestures become monumental when scarce. Men live for the rare reward, constantly chasing the next one. The siren never floods him with affection. She gives sparingly, unpredictably, ensuring that each reward feels priceless. This is psychological discipline. The ordinary woman rewards endlessly, and her rewards lose value. The siren withholds until reward becomes addictive. Men will move mountains for a prize they cannot predict. Principle 16. Detachment as power. The siren never clings. She could walk away at any moment. This detachment terrifies men because they cannot control it. While ordinary women beg, explain, or prove themselves, the siren remains calm. Her silence communicates, "I am here because I choose, not because I must." That choice makes her irresistible. Detachment is not coldness, it is strength. It allows her to seduce without desperation, to dominate without force. Men sense that she does not need them, and that realization makes them need her more. The paradox is clear. The less she needs, the more she is needed. Principle 17. Permanence through memory. Words fade, actions are forgotten, but atmosphere lingers. The siren seduces, not by what she says, but by what she makes him feel. The memory of her stillness, her gaze, her silences haunt him long after she is gone. This permanence ensures that even if he moves on, he compares every woman to her. The siren becomes the measure, the ghost, the standard. This is why sirens throughout history remain legendary. Cleopatra, Machiavelli, Marilyn Monroe. They live not because of their words, but because of the memories they imprinted. Seduction without words is eternal because it bypasses logic and plants itself in memory. Principle 18. Devotion without demands. The siren never demands devotion. She inspires it. By withholding, by rationing, by remaining mysterious, she forces men to volunteer their devotion. This makes it stronger because it feels chosen. Men do not feel manipulated. They feel compelled. And devotion that feels chosen lasts longer than devotion that feels forced. This is the genius of the siren. She does not argue. She does not plead. She lets silence bend men until they worship her freely. This worship is stronger than any demand because it cannot be resisted. Principle 19. The long game. The siren does not seek quick victories. She plays the long game. Her silence, her scarcity, her withholding, all are investments in permanence. While ordinary women fight for instant attention, the siren cultivates obsession that lasts years, even decades. This is why men who once knew a siren often remain haunted for life. She is unforgettable because she never rushed. She planted desire slowly, strategically, until it became permanent. The long game is about restraint. It is about resisting the urge to flood, to chase, to explain. The siren waits, knowing that obsession grows in silence, and patience ensures permanence. Case study: The Courtesans of Venice. The courtesans of Renaissance Venice were among the most powerful women in Europe, not because of wealth or armies, but because of silence and aura. They revealed little, rationed presence, cultivated mystery. Men of power, from merchants to nobles, became addicted to their atmosphere. These women left legacies not through words, but through memories. They proved that seduction without words could bend entire empires. Principle 20. The exit as master stroke. Every siren knows that the final act is the exit. To leave too late is to lose power. To leave too early is to weaken impact. But the perfectly timed exit, sudden, unexplained, deliberate, immortalizes her. Men replay the silence, the absence, the mystery, endlessly. The exit is the ultimate seduction, because it leaves him forever unfinished. This is why the siren is never forgotten. She knows when to withdraw, when to vanish, when to become myth. And myths last longer than relationships. The exit ensures she is remembered not as ordinary, but as legend. The siren's final lesson. Seduction without words is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the discipline to resist noise, to cultivate scarcity, to weaponize silence. It is the patience to play the long game, to ration reward, to control atmosphere. It is the courage to detach, to walk away, to exit at the peak. These are the strategies that separate ordinary women from sirens. These are the rules of the playbook whispered through history, never written, always lived. So the punchline is this. The ordinary woman begs for attention. The beautiful woman is admired. But the siren, she seduces without a single word. Because beauty may please the eye, but silence enslaves the soul.